Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm your host, Leafy Potato Style, and welcome to another NRTS 1v1. I understand I haven't made one of these videos in a while. I feel like I'm going to change things up a little bit, keep the video a little bit shorter, speed up the gameplay a little bit. I've actually got it at StarCraft speed, 70% faster than normal. I'll see how I like this change. Might not stick with it for too terribly long, just think it helps speed along the game a little bit, especially in the times where there can be a lot of waiting, where both players kind of sit back and max. Already, we have our two favorites, Mister and Qalavan. Mister, currently the highest rated player in the 1v1 ladder, though he has been challenged for that spot recently by myself and Achto. So, hooray, competition at the top level. It's great to see. There's been a lot of meta developments lately in NRTS 1v1. So if you are interested to see some of that, here's hoping that I have another cast within the next month. I will not promise anything, but I do enjoy making these casts. We see Mister with a 3-worker opening. That might have just been a misclick. And Qalavan going with a very traditional militia opener. You see Qalavan already expanding out on the map fairly aggressively, whereas Mister using his 3 workers to build quite quickly. Mister will be behind in terms of militia, meaning that he will have to give up some ground early in this fight. As we see, Qalavan establishing a front line in the middle of the map. Mister trying to get a little ambitious here. Will take a fight with less militia ready. Now, Qalavan is housed right now. Mister as well, though. Making a vehicle depot on the front lines is a questionable decision that is very exposed. Mister is not in a position to be able to make static defense to really help his case. And he's outnumbered in terms of militia. Gets the first kill, gets the second kill too, which does help, but all of his militia are damaged. He tries to poke in yet again and gets his force completely annihilated. That is not the best way to start a 1v1, let me tell you. Now, Mister will at least get 1 recon out of the field, but at about 3 minutes 30 seconds, so we are a little late here, and forgive the camera work. I was AFKing during this game. Not exactly professional. Recon missing a million shots. Finally does manage to kill a militia, but it is quite damaged right now. Mister trying to protect his vehicle depot long enough to get another recon out. I do believe it will die before another recon manages to hit the field. Never mind! Recon hits the field as soon as the first recon dies. Now, Qalavan has spent a lot of militia in order to get those kills, but they've more than paid for themselves. They've killed all of Mister's militia, they've killed a recon, they've killed a depot. I mean, if you're Qalavan, you've got to feel like you're on top of the world here. You've got everything that you've wanted. Mister's greed has pretty much not paid off. You've got more farms than he does. You've got more housing than he does. He does have a upgraded command center already, so that sort of offsets it. And Mister does also have a recon. Though, as Qalavan, you could respond in kind and just overwhelm Mister in terms of just sheer eco at this point. Getting a farm lead this early in the match and a housing lead before the 7-8 minute mark, I mean, you feel it. You really do. Mister's still trying to poke at Qalavan, and if you are perfect with your micro, you can get away with it. But Mister losing another 3 militia for basically free, picks off one of Qalavan's, but that's not a good trade. Losing farms. At this moment, I mean, your recon's going to do as best as it can right now, right? Qalavan's not responding with another recon. He's not responding with an air pad quite yet. He's just doing what he knows is safe, which is macro-militia, max house, right? Keep your militia production going so you have something on the field, and get to max housing first, because that's 200 eco in total in just housing that you could get. We see Qalavan a bit dislocated in his position. Mister does still have the recon. He does need to keep it protected, but it will at least offset some of the losses he's taking in this fight. Qalavan's reinforcements finally hit the front lines, and Mister is pushed out of his position. Recon will be rallied back so that it does not die. We now have 4 militia and a recon harassing farms. So Qalavan steadily losing some farm control while he's pushing Mister back. Now, if Qal had a worker at this front line right here, I think this is an absolutely crushing position. You make a farm at the front line, you make a tower, and Mister just can't move. Mister finally makes another vehicle depot. His economy is in shambles, but he should still have enough money to produce enough recons that Qalavan feels threatened. It does not take very much in terms of recon production. to out-offense the enemy's pure militia production, Qalavan will need to make some sort of committed response. Pure militia into max housing just will not cut it after a certain amount of vehicles have been produced. We already see Mister trying to push Qalavan back. Qalavan, holding his ground, just wants to get his militia reinforcements to the front lines, and he does. See a lot of militia going down for Qalavan, but just the same, we see quite a few losses for Mister. Mister does manage to get a jeep full of militia across the map, though, and jeeps are quite quick. Of course, in this gameplay, you're seeing it's sped up a little bit, but jeeps are the same speed as choppers. Very quick, and filling them with militia, you can basically just get a diet chopper. Very supply heavy, and you do need to watch it, but providing that you're paying attention to the match, you should be able to save your jeep at any occasion. Qalavan still massing troops at Mister's front. Mister having a hospital in the back of his base makes it just that much easier to heal up his troops. Qalavan pushing forward gets a tower kill. Looking to get this vehicle depot as well. Stops the assault, does not want to take any more fire. Seems like Mister's got his ground well held. We already have choppers out on the map for Qalavan, looking to assert map control even more than he's already got. The choppers aren't necessarily going to be the most ideal tools for fighting, but you can absolutely deny Mister the opportunity to take any more farms. Forgive me as I take a sip of root beer here, while Qalavan pokes at Mister's vehicle depot yet again. At this point, I really don't think that you're going to realistically see a vehicle depot kill for Qal. It would be wonderful if you could get it, but I think that time has passed. You have to accept that Mister has vehicle production, and you just have to mitigate it by keeping his economy low. Now, Mister has done well to strike back at Qalavan. As few farms as Mister owns, which is exactly 4. Qalavan owns exactly 5. This is not exactly an economically great position for Qalavan, and his militia are getting rolled up on this front line. Choppers finally help out, which will help the militia survive against recons, but it doesn't take many anti-air from Mister for this to be a very precarious position. Mister slowly expanding in terms of farms. He does have a decent amount of workers. Qalavan clamps down on that with choppers and gets back to safety. Mister deciding that he wants to take an aggressive push. Don't hate it. You're close enough to your command center that you can pull back with your damaged units, and you have a hospital in the back so you can heal your units up while in the safety of the command center's zone of fire. Mister continuing to try to take the farms, but Qalavan's got choppers in the sky that Mister has no real response for. Qalavan continuing to mass choppers. Seems like he is done with his housing, is reestablishing his farms. Again, one of the wonderful things about choppers is that they can secure you map control, meaning that your opponent can't expand in terms of farms. They can't really harass you while you expand in terms of farms, and so Qalavan, we see, taking 4 farms, taking a 5th now, expanding his economy quite rapidly while also mass-producing choppers. Now, when you do rely on choppers as your main form of army, you'll see that they are quite vulnerable to anti-air. When the only enemy you have to fight is airborne, there's no downside to having anti-air. And so Qalavan, while he is able to outmaneuver Mister, he will not be able to fight Mister directly any better later. Now, he might have been able to take an okay-ish fight with the amount of choppers that he's got in the sky right now against just the one anti-air, but as soon as Mister starts making more, that's going to be more and more difficult to fight. 1 or 2 anti-air out on their own right now could get absolutely shredded by these choppers. The anti-air, provided that they're having damage taken for them from friendly recons, friendly militia, provided they're not dying, essentially, they can put a lot of hurt on choppers. Choppers die in 5 anti-air shots, and an anti-air shoots once every second, so you can do the math for yourself if you'd like. Then they also have deceptively large range. Anti-air actually do outrange choppers. It's one of the few interactions in NRTS where range is a relevant factor. We see Mister finally going and expanding in terms of farms, after Qalavan has been doing so for so long in this game. Qalavan chasing around a jeep with his entire fleet of choppers. Now, one thing about Mister's farm expansion here, it's kind of fake. As soon as you move with your anti-air, recons, and militia to escort a worker, those anti-air recons and militia are no longer defending farms, so Qual's choppers can very easily dive on any amount of farms that Mister takes over 1 or 2. Until Mister gets, say, missile turrets, which I don't think is in the cards for this game. Mister also needs to be very careful about the possibility of a chopper dive. While turrets can hurt choppers significantly, once your opponent has about 20 or so of them, they can just deal so much damage so quickly. Even though they might lose all their choppers to static defenses, they can kill your command center before that happens. And we see Qual now punishing the farm expansion for Mister. Now, those farms have at least paid for themselves, so it's not a complete loss. Mister did have some tactical victory there. Or strategic victory. I apologize. But yeah, now we're back to a crushing economic position for Qalavan. And I think that comes down largely to a lack of anti-chopper tech from Mister. He's got a couple of anti-air, which is great, but the anti-air, they're great at escorting things. They're great at fighting choppers once the choppers have no other option but to fight. But in terms of protecting your territory from choppers, it's just not it. Right, and we see Mister trying to go for a strike. Qalavan, though, notices that Mister has a severe lack of any sort of static defense at home, does not have anti-air at home. We'll just dive the CC, and I mean, it's just going to be over faster than you know it. GG at 1902. One hell of a fight. Now, Mister does get his army on Qual's command center, and I believe Qual will lose his command center, but in 1v1, whoever dies first loses. So Mister loses this game. Very close game, very well played from both players, and Qalavan's first ranked victory against Mister. Congratulations. That was one hell of a game, sir. Very well played. Kept an advantage for the majority of the game, even though you did lose a decent bit of farms. You stabilized, you kept your head on your shoulders, and you took them back. And that is what counts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed this experience and you enjoy my casts for some reason, I thank you for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day and a great week while you're at it. And of course, stay classy.